This is Yo Auntie Fix My Life, episode 3. It's hard making friends as a queer, as a grown adult in general. Not just from a queer perspective, but this is a queer perspective. You know, I want y'all to go in with this opening affirmation. I deserve community that sees me soft and whole. All right? That is the opening affirmation for y'all. And I got a journal prompt for those of you who are journaling. What kind of queer friendships am I craving right now? Very important questions to ask yourself. Now, per usual, we're going to talk about how we got here with no friends. We ain't got no friends whatsoever. Let me sip my copy. It's my signature mug. It has a poem on the back. If you're coming from Instagram, you already know that I'm a poet. Singer-songwriter, things like that. But we're going to talk about, let me turn it down in my ear real quick. Because Jodeci about to cry. I can't go from can we talk to Jodeci. I'm so sorry. Not them crying and shit on the fucking mic. It's some old Jodeci. Anywho, let's get right into it, okay? So we're going to talk about how we got here. The trials and tribulations of building community in general, right? For the most part, my base friendship is, the kids that I grew up with. You feel me? I'm still connected to a lot of the people that I grew up with in East San Jose, throughout San Jose, just basketball and things like that. So my foundation is that. I met some people along the way. I'm still friends with a lot of folks that I'm in the, my homies from the Marine Corps. Like if I go down to Texas, I know I could just be like, hey, Q, I need a spot. Can you talk to your wife? Type thing. You feel me? More than likely, I'm going to be at the crib. I got family in Texas too. This is just an example, right? Or if I go down south to San Diego, I'll be like, hey, Marco, let me get on, let me rent out your RV or something like that. I don't know. Let me get a spot in the RV next to the dog. I don't fucking know. But, I got folk down there as well. But I also have a core group of friends that live in LA as well, where I met them over the internet. Like that internet connection. Like a lot of y'all have tainted friendships from the internet, and it's understandable. It's fucking wild wild west out here. My girl be talking about this thing called role play. I'm like, why couldn't y'all just have regular AOL chats? We was role playing in them things. Some friends lasted. Some friends we bamboozled, you know me, along the way. But, the age of MySpace was a lot easier to maneuver, If I didn't fuck with you, you knew that shit. There's 8 spots where you should be. And if you ain't in the top 5, 8, or whatever on MySpace, hey, we probably not that close. But, a lot of folks that I met from there, I'm still cool with as well, Now, can I say that we're the closest of friends? Probably not. Some folks I could say yes, I'm an auntie. I'm the auntie to their kids, you feel me? In addition to that, I have my own nieces and nephews, and I'm a great aunt there. Don't ask. I'm young. My nieces and nephews, I'm the youngest of the bunch, so a lot of my nieces or nephews are older than me. So that's how I became a great aunt. So my nieces and nephews, some of them are my age, and they have kids. So that's a whole nother story, you feel me? Obviously, I was rough and tough, probably beat them up. But anyway, how we got here. Friendships as survival. Queer folks often grow up isolated, bullied, or masking, right? So friendships become our first form of real belonging. Again, going back to my childhood, The folks that like I grew up with, like playing basketball with them. Like I got a homegirl in LA. She about to have a kid too. Um, I have a friend up north that very close to as well. Both of them I met at age 9 to 11. Playing basketball, playing on AAU squads. You feel me? I don't know if you know anything about traveling basketball or just like an AAU squad in general, but um, it's a lot of time spent together on the road for sure. Going to Vegas tournaments, going to Oregon, going to Washington for tournaments, Nevada, Arizona, here in California. So, yeah, like I spent a lot of time with these girls, and when I first came out, I came out to them, right? They either accept me or they don't. And a lot of them accepted me. Like, for the girls that were just too bougie or just too straight, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the misconception is. Maybe I did have a crush on you. Or maybe I didn't. Because, like, your coochie ain't that great. You feel me? I don't know. Um, but, like, yeah, some of those girls, like, we build friendships along the way. And those relationships have survived over 15 plus years. So, um, can long lasting relationships be done? Yes, if you take the time to build on them. I have a few friends that constantly, like, I'm a Cancer, so naturally I want to be in the house. I want to be comfy in the house. But I do have friends that, like, low key bring me out of my shell, which I love. Like, my air signs, my fire signs, especially my fire signs. The Leos and Sagittarius, they tend to be like, hey, let's go outside. But my girlfriend's a Libra too. She be wanting to go outside. But trauma bonding, like, sometimes, like, in our youth, we low key are trauma bonding with some of these folks, right? Like, maybe we both come from broken homes, right? You just kind of find your tribe along the way. I, I, I've never been a part of one tribe, let's just put it that way. There's pictures of me in high school right now where I'm just like going around, like, we had Asia, we had Africa, we had Little Samoa, like, I mean, this whole school was Mexico, you know. Like, we got our little countries. uh we had a lot of Filipino kids too, so, like, I'm Filipino too, so, like, I'm in here, this group right here, then I'm going over, trickling over there to Samoa and Africa for some reason, right? We combined them. So it's Afro Samoa over there. But, that was fun times, like, not being a part of it. And then as an athlete too, like, I'm I, I'm not really hanging around with the jocks either. Like, I am a jock, but, most of the Samoans are football players though. So, like, hanging around with football players and other basketball players, not so much. Only the girls that were on my squad, like the Samoans that were on my squad. That freshman year, bro, I swear we were crippin'. But that's neither here or there. Neither here or there. It's a past life. So just trauma bonding, right? Many of our early queer relationships were built through shared pain and not shared values. Um, Scarcity mindset, right? Especially in mass presenting queer spaces, there are often a sense of competition, posturing, or there's only room for one. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that at all. If you cute, like, you have a, like your fit is fly type shit. Like, I don't know, maybe because I'm a STEM type of thing, I'm not really a stud, but I'm masculine presenting, so that's immediately I get the meme mugs, right? And then I'm like, ooh, bitch, hey, like, you so cute, like I love your whole outfit, and that's just because I'm from an era where, like, I hung out with gay boys too, like. I love a good gay boy. A good gay boy will hype you up like no other. You could be looking like Raggedy Ann, and they be like, "Girl, the way you're wearing them pajamas." I'm like, "I know, honey. Look at me." Ooh. But you know, that's just like the mindset. Like, you know, I was hyped up as a very young queer person by older, like, either they were older than me or just the same age as me. But I've always been around like pretty gay boys. And naturally I became one, right? Inside and out. And some of you are probably thinking, what is a scarcity mindset in queer mass spaces, right? A queer mindset. Sorry, these cats going crazy. I keep thinking they're across the line, but they're not. A scarcity mindset means believing there's a limited amount of space, attention, love, or recognition available. That is also like a fear base, right? It's fear. So people start competing instead of connecting in mass presenting queer spaces, especially amongst BIPOC folks. That's how it shows up, right? There's only room for one of us energy is like comparing your masculinity to others instead of expressing authenticity, right? Gatekeeping coolness or community roles. Like, I've been in that situation too. I won't even get into that, but I've been in spaces where, like, I know a lot of my friends are femmes. Again, showing up like this. Them not truly knowing me. If they knew me, they'd be like, that's that's a femme in stud clothes. Like, not really knowing, or just going out and like just dancing with like my femme friends. Like, if I see you, I'm gonna be like, hey, and I'm gonna dance with you, type of thing. That's how I was as a youngin', right? I remember one time, this one stud called herself yoking me up. Mind you, I had just gotten out of the military, so I'm like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? So she called herself like grabbing me up. I grabbed her little ass. I said, "Hey, bruh, you don't you don't know me. You need to get your hands up on me." Just like this, just as I'm speaking it to you, because like I'm really not a violent person. I don't want to be in a position where like I have to like fight somebody. Like, I've been to war. Like, why would I want to fight somebody, right? It's not even that deep. It's not that serious, right? And they recognize, their little friends try to like run up on me and shit. But I didn't realize that at the time I was playing women's professional football. So a lot of people just came out of nowhere and they rode up behind me. And I was like, dang, I didn't even come with these folks, but I know them, type of thing. If somebody see you come in with another fam, right? They already think like, oh, I can get this person, type of thing. Especially if they already exerting that energy, right? So it was just like, hey, they were like, you gotta leave. My homegirl was like, you need to give us our money back. Mind you, we only been in the club for like 20 minutes. I haven't even got my drink yet. But that's a little story of somebody trying to exert their power and energy because they are promoting this space, right? She didn't really want it. I knew it the moment I yoked her little ass up and she went limp on me. I was like, wait a minute. Don't be rolling up on me. Like, you don't know me. And my friend should have told you that I just, like, when somebody be like, oh, they just got out of the military, that should be like a sign. They just got out of prison. That's like some shit like that. Like, to be honest. Because, like, we're already trained to be in that state where we have to, like, defend ourselves. Which way, right? I'm not gonna put my hands on you. I'm gonna be in defense mode. So if you hit me, I'm gonna hit you, and it's probably not gonna be good for you, type of thing. Because the moment I get you in that rear chokehold, you going night night. Oh gosh! And at the time, I was doing Muay Thai and all kinds of shit, bro. So it's like, I was like, man, and I know me, I know my strength type thing too, so I'm not gonna do that. So the gatekeepers of the community trying to be a gatekeeper, right? Feeling like another person showing up confidently somehow threatens their space, right? Or threatens your space. Not celebrating others' wins because you feel their less shine left for you. Like, come on. avoiding vulnerability or softness because it's seen as losing in a silent performance game. Yeah, that's a red flag. All of that's a red flag. That's some internalized shit that you need to like work through. Because on the back end, we could talk about where that comes from, right? Patriarchal influence, right? Right? I don't know if I have any straight people in the chat right now, but like, that's probably something that is like, you know, you know, bronze over brains, brains over bronze. It's probably some masculine, some patriarchal shit. You feel me? Even in queer spaces, where absorb toxic masculinity messages that say power is dominance, not collaboration, and that's not always true, right? Like, representation trauma in media and real life. There's often just one stud, more mass person, black queer person in the room, right? Like when you look at 20s, for example. If you haven't watched Lena's show 20s, please do so, right? You got one mass presenting person who's the lead, um, two other women. I believe both of them are straight. But Lena does a great job of like having all different types of queer representation in that, right? So probably a bad example. But like typically there's that. There's a show right now with Carter the Body. Shout out to Carter the Body. Um, Carter the Body. They're on his BET show, and they have a madam, which is Eve. Remember Eve, the supermodel, Tyra Banks. Where she's the madam, and she's the only mass presenting. Right? She's a dancer. I don't know if you know Carter Body's history, but she used to be dancing. They used to be dancing. So that's a good look. I mean, that's a role I can see them in, right? But it's only one queer representation, so it makes us all feel um, like we can only be one in that scene. Like if we're in a group of guys, right? There's only one probably masked stud. Like, but I don't know. I feel like Young Ma has multiple stud homies. You feel me? That's the first time on a global level that we've seen a mass presenting woman, with other masks. You feel me? Which is dope. Which is dope. I love to see other black masculine women lifting each other up. Whether they be like I don't know. The queer community should be lifting each other up in general. Survival conditioning, right? Many of us weren't taught how to feel safe or celebrated in groups. Only how to compete for safety or just belonging. Interesting, right? Just like we're low-key like trying to survive. Like I feel that, right? Being like someone who is black, like in elementary there wasn't a lot of like black women, and then me being the only black person in a group of Mexican friends, trying to survive my friendship groups and things like that as a child, then realizing that I can't survive them just because I'm different. I'm very much a tomboy. A lot of my friends are like played sports too. They had to. Like one of my good friends, Y0o, like I have two Veronicas too. Both of them. Like I played softball with one, I played basketball with the other. So just, yeah. What can we do instead of like as mass presenting women, instead of like all the big chests and the evil eyes? I think we should just celebrate mass folks in general, and there should be a day for us. And we can make a day too. Show vulnerability as strength instead of weakness, right? I guess that's what I'm here to do, right? Like I'm being vulnerable as fuck with y'all, right? Like I'm sitting here, we're going through different topics each week, but in addition to that, we or I'm being vulnerable about like my life experiences. So showing vulnerability as a strength instead of a weakness. As a poet, I do it all the time. If you go to my page, Tamika Denise on IG underscore the poet, you'll see a lot of vulnerability on there about love, about growth, about wellness, about me losing the weight. Um, for those of you, I'm so sorry. Here. I hear a funny hesitation and a heart that's never really sure. I'm trying to look for something. And what you can live for. I'm sorry, it won't let me chat from this dang on OBS, so I had to go to the stream manager to do so. It's just a community link for those of you who want to build community and are looking for a community to just be vulnerable with. What's good, fam? Mellow. What's good? So this is the Discord. This is our community right now. I believe specifically this is the Fix My Life this group. So if you guys go into there, y'all can discuss this episode and just build community, right? Auntie's house. That's where y'all. That's where you're gonna come in and do that. But yeah, just celebrate one another as mass folks, right? Because a lot of times this is the mindset that we go into spaces and we don't feel safe, right? Especially for those of us who are not aggressive, right? N- um, yeah, definitely not aggressive. Yeah. Or those of us who have like grown up in different lifestyles and things like that. Like, we're all different. We're all different. All right. How can we heal as a community? Get clear on your needs. I think, like, we talked about love and relationships and boundaries and things like that already in episode 1 and 2. Oh my god. The chat is all the way up in this corner. Hold the fuck up. Yo, the chat. Chat, you out here. Sorry, chat. Here, come back down. That's why I couldn't see you, Bella. It's all the way up in the corner, bro. Damn. I didn't realize. See what happens when there's no chat? You just forget. Appreciate you, Mello. Appreciate you, fam. But yeah, like, we gotta create boundaries around our friendships as well. Like, get clear on your needs. Friendships is not one size fits all. Ask, am I looking for someone to vent with, grow with, or create with? In my adulthood life, I'll be asking the question, what's your role in the apocalypse? Because we here, right? What you doing on the land type thing. Going in on some land with friends. I'm trying to grow. Like, are they on the same vibration as me as far as like this spiritual thing? A lot of you, like, I'm cursing and doing all kinds of things here, and yo auntie be crashing out on 2K sometimes, but like internally, like, I'm a very compassionate person. Like, I practice a lot of things. Meditation, yoga, breath work, all that. Like, so I'm working on me. Currently reading Bhagavad Gita, like, for the second time. You know, reading 3 magic words. Like, so it's like I've done a lot of work to work on me and have a clear, concise view of me and how I want to move in the world. So being clear about, like, no, I don't want nobody I can vent to. Like, if I need to vent, I have my partner, right? And I don't really vent. There's nothing really hectic going on around my day where I'm just like, I need to vent about something. Grow with. definitely grow with and who I can create with. Because sometimes you're going to have friendships where we're like, oh, let's collab on an event, right? Well, in my case, because I do perform, let's collab on an event. And sometimes, like, friends, like, you're not always supposed to collaborate with them on, on, on events. Let's just say that. So it's just more so like grow with, right? Most of the times I want to grow with somebody because we're trying to learn different things from one another, right? Like I have a green thumb. Like if you watch my reels and stuff like that, you see my plants behind me. Like those are my babies. They come here inside my office to thrive because my cats have tried to kill them. But yeah, like being clear and concise, right? Soon enough, I'm gonna have to get back out in that garden. It's not a hot summer this summer, which is sad for me because all the crops I've tried to like maintain and build in the summer have died the last few years being here in Sacramento because it's been freaking hot, like 100 and some degrees. But we haven't really had a hot summer. Knock on some wood, but like I do be out in the garden. You feel me? So like just exchanging tips. If I can't grow with you, learn from you, or anything like that, then more than likely we're probably not gonna be vibing out. Um, yeah, it's a reciprocation thing, right? Like as someone who is curious about the world and wants to learn more about it, um, I need to have that type of stimulation where I'm learning something, but we don't always have to learn at the same space, right? Like I've rented like cabins with my friends and we just chilled, barbecued, did little things, and like I don't have to be with you every 5 seconds. Like go take your hike if that's what you need to do. Like go meditate in nature if that's what you need to do. Like if you ask me to join, I'll go and join if that's what I feel like I'm doing. But a lot of my friends aren't like getting defensive if I'm like, nah, like I'm gonna just chill up here and listen to some music or read my book or whatever. Like I have low maintenance ass friends, right? I have friends that live all across the world, Puerto Rico, Houston, East Coast, Florida. I have friends in North, South Carolina, Maryland, Virginia, New Jersey, all kinds of places, right? So like those are like I would say like my low maintenance friends. Like I maintain them from a distance through memes for the most part, or we'll get on the phone chit chat. But it's like not a vent session. It's just like a catch up session. Like how are you? How have you been? How's your mental health? You know, um, release the pressure to vibe instantly. I think when we see I don't know, I be vibing. True friendship takes time and trust and chemistry fades, but shared clarity is sustained, right? Like I be vibing with folks in like when I go to my grown woman type of events. You feel me? Like the day parties. Let's just say that because I'm not going outside at night. Because like what? I can barely stand up. I've been up all day. You want me to stay at night? No. So I got a day party. So like typically you can see everybody. I be vibing with some mass people. I got people's numbers, and I go back to my girl. I'll be like, I got a number. She be like, what stud did you find? Like over there. They live out here too. We're gonna double date. I be going on double dates and stuff. Like I wanted them. Like I'm trying to build community. If we vibe, you cute, I'm cute. Like I'm gonna build a stud friendship quick, fast, in a hurry. You feel me? As I mentioned before, I'm not like one of them studs that are. I'm a soft stud, if you want to say that. But release the pressure, bro. Release the pressure. Cause like even after that exchange, right? Like me and the person that I've met, like a couple of women that I've met, like we haven't like texted, and like there's no pressure to text or anything like that. Like if we go out to an event, like there's gonna be Shantae Waynes that come out here in a couple of months or whatever, and like we about to get all the studs together for that. So it's just like I don't gotta see you every day. Like it's low maintenance friendships is what I need. But in addition to that, if I'm sitting down with you and like we meet up for coffee or tea or just grab something to eat, more likely I'm gonna be like, trying to get deep in it with you, like, how you feeling, like how's your day, like how's your week been, how have you been since we first met, or whatever the case may be. Because like, I don't know, like I'm also a Cancer, so I want to know you, and I want to know if you align too. So, and if we don't align, I don't ever want the person to feel like, oh, it's something within me. It's just like sometimes, you meet people again that are vibe with you instantly, and then but there's always that one off where it's just like, like, do I need this type of friend though? That's gonna put me in a predicament, you know. Reparent your social self. Like sometimes your adult self wants community, but your inner child still expects rejection. Start small and stay gentle. Like just be gentle with yourself. Unlearn the whole performance aspect of like showing up, trying to be cool. Because being cool is not a love language. Try being curious, consistent, and open instead. Like, what? This is definitely how we heal. You feel me? Like, we gotta get rid of this, like, oh, I'm too cool for school. I'm too cool for you. I'm too cool for that. Nah, bro. Like, we all in this together. We all in this, 100% vulnerability and all. So, I already shared with you that Discord community. If you want to build community, go ahead and click that link in the Discord. How we move through it, like building friendships and getting over the hurdle of healing. Be intentional and flexible. Consistent check-ins. Um, Less than waiting for the perfect time to reconnect. Again, like I already know Shantae is coming. Already hit them up. We already got this schedule. With the we good. Some of those people from the last show I met from there, we still cool. Even after, like, then we all hung out with Shantae after. So it's just like masculine women can come together and be cool. It's just a matter of like finding community, right? Find new containers. Look for the community outside of bars or dating apps. Try Discord groups similar to the one that I just shared. Queer Center Fitness, hobby meetups, or live streams like this one, right? Like, I met some queer friends in the gym. Like, have two still friends that I met at the gym. Now, are we consistent? One over the other, but we're still getting to know one another. Even though it's been 2 years, we're still slowly getting to know each other. So, and then there's a matter of like navigating those people and their breakups and our friendships within them. So that's a whole other topic that we'll get into. Normalize direct communication. Say I want to be closer or I've missed you without any shame. Like I will never be shameful of being like, hey friend, I miss you. Or I love you. But I also have friends that are, you know, like I have friends that are like me and I have friends that are not. Cause I'm like, if we vibe, then I vibe with you. Your chosen family. I start taking you to family events, things like that. And even though like some of my friends aren't like myself, I go into those friendships with no judgment at all. it's safe here. I'm human. I might make a mistake where I get upset, or not even upset, like, because like maybe 10 years ago I'll be upset, but today I just be like communicating. But like, all right, you good? Are we good? Cause like I invited you to several things and you ain't respond or you didn't show up, type of thing. You good? You know, celebrate growth, yours and theirs. Support your friends. Healing even when it doesn't mirror your own. I'm big on this. If you're my folks, I'm gonna support you. If I can't physically be there, then maybe somebody that watches my story or just watches my timeline is from the place that you are from. So if you have an event or anything like that, then I'm going to share it. You know, if you're an artist, I'm going to share your work. Um, I've learned to expect people to show up based on their capacity, and each day is different. Because as a young person, like 10 years ago, I would be offended. I constantly support you and you don't show up to my shit. That's hurtful, you know? But I've learned to expect people to show up based on their capacity, and each day is different. If I go to the root of my previous anger about the lack of support, I can trace it back to Mika Mouse, which is my little self, whose mother didn't show up to baseball games, basketball games, graduations. That's not a them issue, right? It's a lack of understanding myself, oneself, right? But once you trace it, heal it, and move past it, you'll learn to live in peace. I've learned to live in peace. I'm not going to excommunicate my friends because they didn't show up to one of my performances or didn't share my music or any of that. I just, I can see it, I recognize it. Now, based on my boundaries, however, I might maneuver differently in those types of friendships. Or I might just have to have a conversation with them. My my friends know. I'm good for having a conversation about how I'm feeling, even if they're not ready to hear or reciprocate. You know, leave room for repair. You will mess up. Reaching back out after silence or tension is a radical act. It's a radical act. From what I've learned recently, is that there is always room to repair. There's always room to apologize for something you did. Especially like at the time you didn't see where you were in the wrong, right? And then you go back to it and you're like, dang, I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong. They weren't in the wrong. So now I have to repair this. Now I have to apologize. Like, it's simple. It's easy. Be kind to people. It should be, you know, a thing. So there's always room to repair. Some of the call in questions. Well, if you want to call in with any questions in the future, here is our form for that. If you guys are subscribed to me, then you definitely are able to call into the Discord group that we have and just be on air with me. Um, but yeah, y'all could fill that out. Some of the questions on here right now are: how do I make queer friends when I don't party or go out? Again, going back to what I mentioned previously, is that you could definitely find groups, meetup groups, um, find like non going out groups. We have like when I first moved out here, I looked for queer sports groups. Found one. So I go to queer sports. That's where I was able to meet friends and things like that. Um, like I play basketball, but we play all different types of sports there, and it's like different levels. So I would say find a meetup in your area, and that's not a, you know, that's not the club. Why do mass queer spaces feel competitive instead of communal? We've already went over that, but we're always going to be in a space where, there's probably going to be a masculine person who hasn't healed from, past traumas, like, I don't know. I'm from the era when I was a baby stud, and if you go to a 21 and over club, right, there's some bull dagger in a freaking corner somewhere, me mugging the fuck out of everybody. So, that's just like, again, patriarchal influences that we just gotta like move through and heal through. Just gotta celebrate other mass people. Like we're we're women. We're fluid. Show vulnerability. Build better independence. Heal through whatever it is that you're going through, where it makes you angry to where you gotta mean to mug somebody on their way in or their way out. I feel left out in femme friend groups. Is it me or is something else going on? Ooh, that one's a good, tough ass question. I don't know anything about femme groups. Chat, can you help us out? Um, I guess you just gotta find your tribe, right? Like, it really depends on what kind of friend group that you're currently in, right? Because there's different types of femmes, right? Because again, like womanhood is fluid, like it's fluid. So I just believe that you just gotta ask the questions why that is. Maybe it's something that you did characterize. Um, maybe it's you. Maybe you're just on a different path than them. Maybe you're like starting your, or maybe you've gone through your dark night of the soul and now you're in your spiritual awakening and like you see everything for the reality that it is, and they're like still superficial. It really depends, right? I wish this person who put in these questions were here so we can get a clearer understanding of like what they meant by this. um but that's a good one, chat. If you can here on Twitch and YouTube, make sure that you help this sister out. I feel left out in friend groups. Is it me or is something else going on? I can only tell you based on my experience, and this is not an experience that I have. But as far as my straight friends being like, "Well, you're too a tomboy for me," it's them. That's the only femmes I be dealing with. I mean, like, that was me as a kid. Like, you gonna be my friend. I was friends. I force people into friendships, and they still love me. Not force, but. Oh my gosh. All right, so now that that's over, gang. Let's talk about the upcoming episodes that we have, so you guys know where we're at, where we're heading in the future. So this is episode 3. Um, Next week, episode 4, we'll talk about sex after trauma, when touch isn't just physical, navigating intimacy, PTSD, dysphoria, dysphoria, and reclaiming pleasure. Like, this is something that I can attest to. I feel like most of us in the queer community have some type of sexual trauma. Um, if I'm wrong, put it in the chat. If I'm right, put it in the chat. If you have any questions, um, the form is there. You want to submit your call-in questions. If you want to be a part of the call-ins, the after-party chit-chats, um, subscribe. If you want ad-free, subscribe. All right. So, for all of my followers, here's what we have on the schedule for Twitch. Monday is IRL. Tuesday, you have access to Yo Auntie Fix My Life. Wednesday, we have reactions. But y'all have not submitted any reactions, so that is an optional thing for me. Friday, we have variety. Saturday, we have WNBA watch party. Last weekend, we just did it all weekend. Sunday, I'm off for y'all. Tier 2 has access to the IRL on Mondays. Tuesdays, we have later on today, we have 2K26 squads, or we're just running squads on the rec. Um, Wednesday, tier 2 has nothing. Thursday, I'm off. Friday is Fit Club. So, again, y'all be at the gym with me. Saturday is not, so y'all just have the WNBA. Everybody has WNBA watch party. Sunday, I'm off with y'all. Tier 2, y'all don't really have anything behind the scenes till Wednesday. Y'all have behind the scenes, like y'all have anything that's behind the scenes that I upload to the group. Thursday is the family meeting where we meet up, we just chit chat. For tier 2. For tier 3, Mondays, y'all have Monday meditation with me. Saturdays, that locker room chat shit. You feel me? That's where we at. Sunday, we also do a grounding for tier 3. So, like, a lot on the schedule. The schedule is already posted on Twitch. This is the most up to date. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Everybody who came in. If you haven't already done so, follow here on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube.